What's up, guys? And you guys answered that poll. You guys want to learn how to take better street photography class portraits, but I myself, I'm not the best photographer out there. I try, but in this episode, I'm gonna show you guys, well, not me, but you'll see, how you guys are gonna take better street photography, better portraits, even if you have a Nikon camera. Stay tuned for this video. So you guys are probably wondering what camera I'm gonna be using for this. So I did purchase my Nikon Z50 here. 50 to 250, it is a good for landscapes, but specifically street photography. You're not gonna get as bokeh in terms of lenses. It does not that fast. You're shooting at 4.5 to 6.3, but currently I am in a lot of high rises, and I myself am not going to teach you guys, but I have my friend over there, Yvonne, and she's gonna give you guys 3 tips. She's a lot better, and we can get straight into this.
So 3 things to keep in mind, and this is by far not a comprehensive list at all, but the top 3 tips that I put together for this video, we've got attention to shadows and lighting. So we have a perfect day for it right now. We got this really low winter sun. It stays low in the horizon all day, and so you get these really long, pronounced shadows and this really white sunlight. So that's gonna be perfect. So right away, the thing that I love about this location is you've got this really, really fascinating kind of intersection between 3 different planes. You've got the pillar, you've got the bottom side, the top side, you got a little bit of light. A few minutes ago it had perfect light, but we kind of missed that. And then you've got the reflection in this glass. So I'm just gonna take a picture that kind of frames all of those elements and has that central point in the very middle of the frame. Really basic, but it's gonna be a fun shot. I'm also gonna avoid these tree branches because the natural elements really kind of contrast, not in a great way, with the unnatural elements of the glass and the concrete. So I'm just gonna try and leave those out entirely. Tell me your settings. Yeah, so right now, because it was quite bright out earlier, I'm just shooting with ISO 100, as low as it'll go. F-stop 2.8, because I do like to get a little bit of bokeh, although with 2.8, you're not gonna get a whole ton. And then I've got my exposure, I believe, or sorry, shutter speed is 1 out of 1250.
So now that Yvonne has shot that shot, which is roughly up there, I'm gonna try to copy exactly where that was. The only difference is she's shooting on a lens that is 1.4 aperture?
2.8.
2.8, okay, and this is a 50 to 250. But do you like to underexpose your photos?
I do, typically. Just because that gives you a lot more potential to bring up detail later, whereas once they're properly exposed or overexposed, that detail's lost.
How's that teaching?
That's looking fun. The one thing that I'd say to watch out for is like there's a lot of sky, but I mean the sky kind of balances the bottom part pretty nicely, but it is like still blank space. Yeah, gotcha. But that's like a stylist thing. Second tip is reflection and depth. So you want to be looking for interesting angles, layers, glass, things that are going to create interesting reflections. And I actually brought a bottle of water to pour on the ground and create a reflection to kind of have a little bit of fun with that. But you want to be looking at different like glasswares, how many layers there are to the photo, what the reflections are reflecting, whether there's a reflection in that reflection, that kind of thing. You want to pay a lot of attention to that. Yeah, so right now I'm just kind of looking at this area. So we were going to do these pyramids that I had scoped out beforehand, or cones, but they are not in light anymore, so there's not the interesting shadows. So in order to demonstrate kind of the fun of shadows and light, it wouldn't be the ideal spot because it's all in shadow. So instead we're gonna try and shoot here, which I think is gonna be interesting because it's got these different colored light panels that reflect light in different ways. So you can kind of see this streak of blue and green that's just going across the road there, which I think is gonna be fascinating to work with. We'll try a few shots on this side of the road, a few shots on that side of the road, and see what we can get. It's gonna be more improvisational because this isn't where we plan to shoot, but. So because when I was down below, you were blocked out by this railing a bit, and it was blocking your eyes and your mouth, which is kind of interesting. I got a few shots like that, but that's not really the look that I'm going for. I'm more going for, you know, kind of a full silhouette. So I'm hoping by being up here with some height, I can get you head on. That's great. That's perfect. A little bit more that way. That way, just a little bit more. Perfect.
All right, guys. So now I'm gonna try to replicate that shot that Yvonne just took, except my difficulty is that I will be shooting with the lens that a little bit more budget friendly. And first thing I noticed with this lens is like I'm having a hard time focusing. Hold that. Can you like pretend to shoot? Yep. Since this is like my first time shooting with this lens, I do notice some drawbacks in terms of low light. There is hunting issues, but for the most part, I think I was able to get some decent photos. This shoots up to 4,000 shutter speed. And for a kit zoom lens, I think that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Third is leading lines with payoff. So often in beginner street photography, you'll see that they have the leading lines. You'll see that they, you've got a street with street lights going down, you've got a nice long wall or a fence, and it's just leading into this perfect point. But what they miss is there's not a lot of payoff. So what payoff would look like is a silhouette, a figure walking by, somebody walking their dog, somebody on a skateboard or a bike, or just something interesting that's gonna give you that, payoff at the end of that visual line that's being created by the leading lines. So you've got these lines leading in, right? And they're leading into the middle of the frame. And then without payoff, what do you have in the middle of the frame? Like in this case, you got some bushes. So you've got all of these really dramatic lines. You got the dramatic lines here, these ones, these bike racks, all leading towards the central point. And the central point in this case is just a bush. So we're gonna need to get somebody down there, get Peter down there, to be a silhouette, just kind of like leaning against the wall or kicking back, look like you're out for a smoke, texting your friends, something like that. That's gonna give you the payoff that you need at the end of this image. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, I'd have you wearing like a lighter sweater. Usually I tell my models to bring, wear a black silhouette and then a white jacket or something over top, just so there's that option. But other than that, I think the finished photo does like show off what we were going for, and I think in post I'm gonna bring up these grays to be more like blues and have that be more of an aquatic blue.
So now guys, I'm gonna try to replicate what Yvonne did.
And let me know, I can go further down or I can come up.
Let's get you further down. So like the very first group of bike racks. So one of the benefits of using my guy is that I have a 70-250, meaning I can zoom in a lot more than your typical lens. Hold that. What is up guys, and that was my little challenge with using the one and only Nikon Z50 with my 50-250. Did see some struggles right over here in this area as it was pretty dark, and since I was at, let's say, even 500 ISO, I had a lot of trouble in terms of like hunting and shooting. And now if I'm using this lens for photography, I wouldn't use this guy. Probably put on my F-to-Z mount and use something with like a little faster glass. But overall, here are the photos, and it's all about what I learned from Yvonne was learning the location. You have your leading lines, and make sure if you want to check out her work, she's right over there. Check out her link will be in the description below. Check it out, YouTube Yvonne. Yeah. And my name is Peter, and this is me teaching you guys how to be a better photographer and creating something out of nothing. If you guys want to check out all my free camera resources, link are in the description. Overall thoughts is, yes, I'm starting to see the struggle of using this guy for night, even if it's like afternoon where there was some dark light, like there wasn't enough light. I see it struggling and constantly hunting for face detection. So you're probably better off with the kit lens or with the F-to-Z mount with something with a little faster glass. But I think I was pretty even impressed, surprised with my own photography with the help of Yvonne. So yeah guys, let me know what you guys think. If you guys want more of these episodes, smash that thumbs up button. I'll keep doing them. My name is Peter. Let's get the show rolling.